Holly Byrne, Teacher Sammy again. Craft number 2 for you guys, and this one can also be used as a sensory activity. This one, all you're going to need is rice, olive oil, food coloring, and the Ziploc bag. So I've already done the first step, but basically you're going to put some rice in a Ziploc bag. The amount is totally up to you. It does go a long way, so be mindful of that. Next, you're going to put about half a tablespoon of olive oil in it. This is going to help the rice really soak up that color. So after you've done that, you're going to grab your food coloring. And if you have one of these ones, I would suggest taking the little bulb at the top off. It's just going to make it a lot easier to squirt it all into the bag. Alright, so basically you're going to grab your food coloring, stick it into the bag just like that. And now the fun part, especially for the kids. So make sure that bag is nice and tightly closed. And you're just going to kind of manipulate the rice inside the bag, squish it around until all of the rice is fully coated. So if you're kind of going through it and it looks like the rice isn't getting the color you want, add more food coloring. There's no such thing as too much. Alright, so that looks pretty good to me, nice and covered. So you're going to need to let this sit out and dry nice and flat, at least for overnight. So what I just did was I grabbed a baking pan and put a plastic bag over it. You can do parchment paper, you can do tin foil, whatever you guys have. Dump the rice out. And again, this stuff will stain your fingers for quite a while, so you can use the Ziploc bag or anything you have lying around and just kind of flatten it out. Any giant clumps, just so it gets a nice even dry. And basically you're going to put that away and let it dry at least overnight. Test it out in the morning, see how it is. Make sure there's nothing coming off because that will get really messy. So just to show you guys what it will look like, here's one that I made the other night. So I used yellow, green, and blue food coloring to make my rice, so 3 different bags. If you are going to do multiple colors, make sure that you put them in separate bags, otherwise it's just going to turn into a big bag of brown rice. So with this, there's a few things you guys can do to kind of kick up this activity. So if your child, for example, is working on their letters, you can always grab a piece of paper, write out the alphabet, and if you have them, throw some alphabet magnets inside your rice. Kind of make it like they're digging for treasure or something like that. And every time they pull out a letter, they would have to try and match it to the paper. Again, if you have the magnets, you can put that paper on a baking pan and actually have it stick. Another option you can do, if you guys have a cupcake tin, is you can fill the tin with different colors of paper. And if they have little toys, or again, if you guys have little magnets, you can throw those in there, and every time they pull it out, they would have to try and match it to the color. Super basic, really easy. One thing I would recommend is whenever they're playing with it, try and get it in a container that has a little bit higher of a lip. It can get everywhere, but it is really easy to clean up. So give it a try. Let us know what you think.